Innovation Center, which houses the largest Bloomberg financial lab in Malaysia to teach students online trading. Phase 3 of HELP's growth plan includes a 200 million ringgit green digital campus. HELP's 4R transformation will be accelerated with the Vision Retreat in 2020, a corporate exercise involving key staff. Recent conferences and strategy seminars have helped to transform the mindset and performance culture of the HELP community. The 4R transformations at HELP will build analytics skills among staff and students, while analytics key performance indicators, or AKPIs, will ensure staff performance. The Faculty of Computing and Digital Technology is the lead academic centre with an innovative one-year programme in industry. HELP's partners include the ITU in Silicon Valley, Korea Big Data Association, and Beijing Jiaotong University. HELP also offers consultancy to multinationals like Southern Capital, Kianju, and RICO for staff upskilling.
The video has gone. Okay, please start.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to, thanks for joining us. All right, today I'm going to talk about these stock investment opportunities in the recession markets. So just now, I think you guys have watched this video. So basically, I graduated from HELP University in 2011. I studied finance. That was 9 years ago. So taking this opportunity today, I want to congratulate HELP University for its success. in transformation to be an analytics-driven entrepreneurial university. Help University is the first university in the Southeast Asia to get full 5-star ratings in all 8 categories in the QS rankings in 2020. So today, Help owns the largest Bloomberg financial lab in Malaysia, and we are going to conduct a course, all right, to guide our students with all this Bloomberg terminal. So students-led learning are well supported by this financial trading floor and Business Analytics Technology Innovation Center in Subang Campus 2. So congratulations, all right. So yeah, before I start, so let me introduce myself first, all right. So my name is Nick, you can call me Nick Fu. All right, I was actually I'm a former prominent investment bank equity analyst and also a chief course instructor. Now currently I'm the founder of iSurvey Empire. All right, and I have conducted more than 100 investment market talks and educational workshops for private and institutional investors. So all right, okay. So I also a regular commentator in the Business Weekly. All right, if you look at this, all right, this is actually I write it in Mandarin. All right, so I produce this publish this every Saturday. All right, so you want to buy, then you go ahead. So yeah, I have a Facebook page. So you feel free. Please like and follow my Facebook page. I will do Facebook Live every morning, 7:30 a.m. So sometimes we do Facebook Live at night, 9:30 p.m. All right. So let's start. All right. So today, I'm going to talk about these stock investment opportunities in the recessions market. I think everyone know about what is happening now. Markets, especially KLCI or the global economy, is slowing down. All right. And stock markets crash, all right? So, but if you look at current markets now, it's currently rebounding. So whether this rebound can be sustainable or it will come back downward again. So let's okay, let's look at it later on, all right? Okay, as usual, disclaimer. So all the information contained in this presentation slides are for educational purposes only, all right? Okay, so because now I think our participants, some of them are newbie, they have zero investment experience. So maybe I just roughly go through the definition of stock markets, all right? So basically, if you online search the definition of stock markets, you basically will know a stock market is a place where you know your friends, your uncle, aunties, they buy and sell their stocks through at this place, all right? So we call this place as secondary markets. So in the futures, all right, when you open a CDS account or trading account with remisier or dealer, so you will buy or sell at these secondary markets. So primary markets is where the securities are created. Okay, so these are standard definitions of stock markets. But different people have their different definitions of the stock markets. So if you look at these slides, so marketplace is a place where the stocks are traded at agreed prices, but also a place where the money is constantly being moved into and out of by the group of individuals. So basically, this is what my definition of stock market. So you look at the current situation, especially the stock markets in March, right? Everyone, if you read a lot of news, right? The bear markets has happened in March, especially. So that's when the money is substantially being moved up from the stock markets. All right. So for the beginners, so this is Bursa Malaysia. So in Malaysian stock markets, we call it Bursa Malaysia. All right. In Bursa Malaysia, I think it has over about nearly 1,000 listed companies. So some of the companies they are either listed on main, A's or lead markets. So these lead markets, right? I think the Bursa Malaysia just introduced these lead markets. I think few years back. So I won't advise you to those stock listed in lead market because it's illiquid. All right. So if you want to invest, I think you better invest in those stocks listed on main or ACE markets. All right. Now, so for those who have zero investment experience, so this is how the stock market works, lah. All right. So basically, this is you. All right. Sometimes you buy or sell your stocks, so you have to go through dealers or remisiers. Okay. And Bursa Malaysia, they have to do the clearing. Okay, they clear the transactions. So I think long time ago, when you want to buy or sell your stocks, you have to call your dealers or remisier, right? So you call remisier, hey, hi, Mr. Lim or Mr. whatever, all right? So hey, help me buy or sell this stock. They have to key in for you. So now difference, okay? Now different. We have this. Now almost all the stock you can trade are done electronically. You can buy and sell your stock online. All right, so then the brokerage is much more lower compared to, compared to those days. Okay, so I think you all know that I was former, investment bank equity analyst. So in equity research, usually we have in a big research firm or research houses. All right, usually we have about 15 to 16 equity research or equity analysts, okay, and some of them they prefer fundamental analysis, some prefer technical analysis. So these are the two popular methods we use when we make the investment decisions. So for those who are new or beginners, so I will advise you to learn both fundamental and technical analysis. So I think we are going to have a course, okay, later on, maybe next Saturday. I'm going to talk about that later on after I finish my presentations today. All right. Okay, now if you think that the markets only, investor only use fundamental analysis or technical analysis to make their investment decisions, but this is not all about this, markets. It's more complicated. You have to study the market sentiment as well and the psychology, investor psychologies. So not only fundamental and technical analysis, you have to understand the market sentiments and the market direction as well. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about this. I will talk about the stock market performance, what happens in 2019. And then after that, I will move on to this impact of 3 black swan events. I think we all know, if you read news every day, so COVID-19 outbreak, I think this is the main issue that the global markets are experiencing. And for local markets, I think we have this political uncertainty, even though we have a new government. So we have no idea whether the new government have a new policy, okay, and the political developments, all these things are uncertain. All right, and the other things is crude oil price war. Even though I think few steps back, the OPEC Plus already reached a historic deal. So we are going to talk about this later on. We discuss about this. So after that, then talk about this global stimulus packages, okay, to combat the recessions. We all know that US, they already introduced this unlimited QE, okay, and they have I think for Malaysia, I think in local, I think our Prime Minister have already introduced few stimulus package. All right, and after that, so where are the investment opportunities? So I'm going to talk about all this, right? Run you guys through about this, and then after that, I will talk about this technical outlook on local, on KLCI, on Malaysia market, stock markets. All right, let's start. Let's talk about this past performance in 2019. Now, if you look at this chart table, KLCI, all right, 2019 performance against other markets. All right, so you see, if you look at this charts, KLCI seriously outperformed for a wrong reason. You see, KLCI, posted a negative return in 2019, and you look at other markets, they posted a positive return. So I think you might know the reasons because of the new policy. Because, you know, since 2018 May, I think you all remember that we changed government. All right, when we have a new government, then they announced a new policy. So they will create a lot of uncertainty, and this is why foreign investors they're afraid. You know, they don't like uncertainties. All right, that's why KLCI posted negative return in 2019. Now, if you look at this, in 2019, especially from the 2018, you look at here. All right, green line is the small cap index. All right, and the blue line is the KLCI index. Now, since 2018, the peak in 2018, if you look at the blue line, all right, in May, I think KLCI was about 1896. That is the highest ever. Okay, so you can see since we have changed new government, KLCI all the way down. So I'm not talking about the previous government is not good, okay, but they create a lot of uncertainties in the stock markets, right? Because of new policy, right? They review the constructions. Remember the ECRL, LRT, MRT. They review everything. So all the projects stop at that time. So you will see a lot of foreign fund they run away from Malaysia markets. Okay, so this is the reasons why KLCI index all the way down. Okay, all right. Now we look at these figures. This is the foreign net buy and sell. I just want to show you. You look at this May 2018. This is where we changed new government, right? So foreign fund has been a net seller since the elections, 2018 election. You can look at the bar, the red bar. All right, red bar is negative. So in other words, foreign fund has been selling Malaysia equity since 2018 May. So you can look at these figures, right? And another reasons why the Malaysia's stock markets underperform against other region market because of this US and China trade war. So I think everyone know about this. All right, because of this trade war, economy was slowing down. Okay, if you look at the 2019, the fourth quarter GDP Malaysia, I'm talking about, it dropped. All right, it dropped sharply because of this. It happened before this COVID-19, Okay, so before COVID-19 outbreak happens, the global, including Malaysia economy, already slowed down, right? And if you look at this table, since 2019, you see all the countries, most of the countries, they cut their interest rate. So they already foreseen that going forward, markets or economy is likely to go down. So this is why they cut the interest rate to stimulate, to stimulate the economy, especially the global. All right. But if you talk about Eurozone, I think they already the interest rate already record low, even though negative interest rate. All right. Now, stock market crash in 2020 in March. Now you look at year to date. None of the stock markets in the world outperform or posted positive return. All right, if you look at here, you see KLCI posted negative drop by 15%. Look at this China. All right, drop a lot. Okay, and if you look at US market, US stock markets, they have four circuit breakers. So they stopped the stock markets for about 15 minutes. So because of the panic selling, all right. Now look at key events in Malaysia, in Malaysia markets in 2020. Now we know in May, in May, Bank Negara Malaysia, they have a OPR card, Then this is what I mentioned just now earlier, right? Our local GDP growth dropped, dropped to 3.6%. Okay, this happened before this COVID-19 outbreak, So before that outbreak, our economy already slowed down. And that's why Bank Negara cut the OPR rate again. Okay. Then Bank Negara Malaysia also lower SRR. Okay. So if you look at our ringgit, US dollar against ringgit. So ringgit also depreciated against US dollar. So this is why KLCI underperformed, all right, against all the regions. And yeah, let's move on to 2020. So just now I talked about the grandmother and grandfather story, all right, in 2019. So in January and February 2020, we can see we have 3 black swans. The first black swan was COVID-19 outbreak in China first. So for those who follow my Facebook page, you will know. So I predicted it correctly before the outbreak happened. All right. So if you follow my Facebook live, you know what I'm saying now. Okay. So the first black one, you can see now global cases, COVID-19, the confirmed cases about already 2 million. So already, you see, also the cases are not worse than US seasonal flu, but the death rate is much more higher compared to this US seasonal flu. All right, if you compare SARS, even though the fatality rate is lower than SARS, but the spread is much faster than SARS. Okay, and so far the COVID-19 confirmed cases seems to be slowing down. Okay, let's talk about this later on. All right. Now, if you look at these charts, I derived this chart from WHO. All right. Now, this peak, all right, these figures is to show you the global confirmed cases, total confirmed cases. This peak, I think, reached this peak on 11 April. So you can see, it seems like slowing down. And this is one of the reasons why you see the stock markets from the bottom slowly, gradually rebounding. All right. Now, if you look at Malaysia, Malaysia, I think if you read on news yesterday, I think our confirmed cases dropped to 85. Right. I think this is a good signal for market. It is a positive for the markets. That's why you can see KLCI over the past few weeks is increasing. Even though you look at today, all right, it's up. KLCI is up. All right. So now, I think we have to look at the MCO as well. You see, effective 18 March, our new Prime Minister's already announced, okay, to implement movement control order for 2 weeks. Then after that, extended until 14 April. Subsequently, further extended by another 14 days until 28 April. I think if you look at my hair, right, it's too long, and the barber shop, initially they say they allowed them to open, right? So after that, I thought, I finally can go to have my hair cut. But then eventually they stop it, okay, right? So they stop it. So, but eventually, even though the government allowed the barber shop to open, I don't think that they will open. You see, because it's quite risky for those permanent staff, all right? And you see, once the permanent staff is infected, the company itself have to bear the cost, So I don't think they will open. All right. So these are the reasons, Okay. Then what are the impact of COVID-19 on sectors? You can see definitely, airlines. All right. Airline definitely like AirAsia, Mars. All right. Definitely the first quarter of the company's result definitely will be very bad. All right. Will be very bad. All right. Airport as well. All right. Nobody want to fly. Then how do you get revenue? All right. And consumer, especially the tourists. Right, they ban fly here and there, right? So nobody dare to go out to spend. So and most of the shops they close. So business definitely will slow down, not only in Malaysia. So it will happen in the world. Okay, like gaming, Genting, I think all right. Those who like to gamble in Genting, So now during this MCO, I don't think you can go to Genting because Genting now is currently closed. So yeah, I think this will affect Genting profits bottom line. We call it bottom line. And rubber's gloves, right? Rubber glove definitely is the main beneficiary of this COVID-19. I think if you all know that hospital that needs glove, all right. So when the demand for glove is high, then the rubber sector that will benefit from there, and the rubber sector's companies' profit will definitely increase sharply. Okay, especially in the first quarter in 2020, and healthcare as well. Increased inflation. Okay, visitations to hospital operators. Now, when's the peak? All right, now you study China, Spain, and Italy. Okay, the days, how many days they take, okay, they took to the peak. Now, for China, they took about 28 days. For Spain, about 27 days, Italy, 34 days. China took about 26 days to slow down, okay, from its peak to content levels, and 45 days to first zero. But eventually, I think recently they don't have zero. All right, they have some new cases. And for Malaysia, as I said just now, yesterday, you see, yesterday we have 85. So finally, we dropped below 100. Okay, that's why I think the third week of April, which is this week, I think you might peak in this week and will subside to content levels by third week of May. So this is my opinions. All right. So let's look at today's figures. All right. Now, the second black swan event we had in local markets is the political turmoil. So everyone knows that we have another new government. So I think you have to understand that foreign investor hates political uncertainties. So in stock markets, uncertainties are negative news or are negative events. So investor hates uncertainties, especially when you change new government, because when you have new government, definitely you have a new policy. Okay, so if you look at this chart, you see foreign fund were the net sellers. You see in March of they sold 5.6 billion ringgit in March. All right, so this I show you this chart, right? Remember, since we have a new government in 2018 after elections, you see foreign fund has been the net seller. All right, okay. Now this is the chart to show the foreign shareholding in Malaysia equity markets. Okay, let's look at 2018 April. Remember the elections? All right, we have at about 24%, 24.1%. So after election, because we have the new government, Pakatan Harapan review constructions or infrastructure projects, review a lot of things, the lower broadband prices, all these things, all the new policies. So the foreign funds, you see, there were a lot of uncertainties. That's why they sold Malaysia equities. That's why you look at this chart. All right, foreign shareholding in Malaysia equity has been falling. All right, as of February 2020, all right, a fall to 22.3%. Okay, now the third black swan event is falling crude oil prices. Okay, I think we all know that there's a price war. All right, Saudi Arabia initiated price war with Russia. All right, remember 2 weeks back? Okay, so that's why you see on March they initiated the price war. Okay, so coupled with this COVID-19 pandemic, all right, and the global spread has resulted in a fall or crash, oil price crash due to subdued demand foreseen, oil price all the way down. Okay, so year-to-date oil prices, I think, decline or drop sharply more than 60%, and this is definitely will affect our government's revenue. I'm going to talk about that later on. Now look at this, oil price war finally ended, a few days back, right? They reached OPEC and the alliance reached a historic deal to cut oil productions. So that productions is already about 10% of global productions on Sunday. Okay, so first there are three phases. First phase, they cut about 9.7 million barrels per day. Now, initially they wanted to cut 10 million barrels per day, but because there are some things going on, it's about Mexico. Mexico was supposed to cut about 400,000 barrels per day, but they refused to do that. So after that, so eventually Mexico cut about 100,000 barrels per day. Okay, all right. So after that, they will cut 9.7 million barrels per day. Okay, they're starting on 1st May. So we extend through the end of June. So after that, from July through the end of this year, they will cut 8 million barrels per day. And next year onwards, I think they will cut 6 million barrels per day. But even though even though OPEC and there is alliance reach a historic deal to cut these productions, it is not enough. Okay, it's not enough to cover the decline in demand. Okay, now you look at here, demand could potentially fall by somewhere between 25 million barrels or 35 million barrels per day. So the historic cut is definitely not big enough. Okay, and because the demand is down by much more than that. All right, that's why you see oil prices, even today, current price is not really, it's very volatile. We say that it's very volatile. All right, because the historic cut definitely is not enough. All right. Now this table just to show you that which country is the largest oil producer. Now look at this table. You see, United States now is the largest oil producers in the world. And previously, I think a few years back, Saudi Arabia was the largest oil producer. Okay. Now this table, I just want to show you the cost of oil productions. Okay. Now you look at United States pure oil. Okay. Every oil they produce, the cost is about 30 to 55 US dollar per barrel. So the cost, the shale oil cost is much higher compared to Russia and Saudi Arabia. All right. Now the reason is because some of the oil is produced near the sea, so that the transportation cost is much lower. Okay. So this is the difference why United States shale oil the cost is higher compared to Russia and Saudi Arabia. All right. So you look at current global oil prices. Now it's about 2090, depends on you look at WTI or Brent crude oil. All right, so it's still way far way below United States shale oil cost. All right, which is 30 to 35. That's why over the past few years, United States shale oil producer, I think there are about 400 plus producers bankrupt or closed down because they can't really cover the cost. Okay. Now I just want to highlight this potential impact on falling oil prices. As you all know, all right, oil-related revenue accounted for about 19.3% of the government total revenue. Okay, and if you look at the 2019 figures, so definitely it will have a negative impact on governments. Now, if you remember the budget 2020, all right, local governments, the previous governments, that based the oil prices, I think it's based on how many? About 62, all right, 62 US dollar per barrel. So now if oil price dropped to 20, so definitely our government revenue will be affected, going forwards. And the budget 2020 deficit targets of the negative 3.2% of GDP, it definitely will not be met. And I think coupled with all these COVID-19 stimulus packages, the deficit target definitely will be maybe 4 to 4.5%. All right. And if you look at that point, oil and gas players, even though you look at recently, you look at oil and gas counters, share price, goes up. And I think for those who really keen to invest this area, so I think you have to be cautious because this I already show you. All right, the demand is down by much more than the historic cut. All right, so you have to you have to be cautious on these sectors, and don't forget, in US, all right, the major producer, they already cut their capex. Capex stands for capital expenditure. All right, so their global producer already started cutting their capex or spending. So I think it doesn't make sense if Petronas don't cut. Even though you recently go and Google search, right, search Petronas whether they cut capex, they say they might not cut. But I think could potentially cut the capex. So when Petronas really cut capex, so all the local oil and gas counters will be affected. All right, so I think those who are keen to invest in this sector, then you have to be cautious on this method. All right, and yeah, I think everyone knows, right? When oil price drop, rakyat like you and me will benefit from the lower fuel price, but I think you not really benefit from that because we are not allowed to go out oftenly, right? So yeah, not really. And airline, shipping, rubber glove player, I think definitely they will benefit from there. Like especially airline, you see, I think about 40 to 45% of their total operating costs actually come from fuel. All right, so if fuel price decline, so the operating cost will be lower. But the COVID-19, the COVID-19 lockdown, I think airlines, I think totally affected by that. All right, I think shipping, yeah, I think shipping will benefit from there. All right, and rubber glove also, manufacturing, when you manufacture glove, all right, they need oil to make the machine works, right? So they need oil. All right. Now, when gray rhinos pump into black swan, gray rhinos means that there are some economic slowdown. Everyone knows about that, right? Caused by this trade war, US-China trade war. So everyone know about this. Trade war will cause the economy to slow down. But unfortunately, this year we have 3 black swans. So this is why the global stock markets, enter the bear markets. All right, so some students or some participants might ask me, hey, what causes a bear market? But generally, a bear market is caused by economic recessions. Now, if you read a lot of news, right, they like World Bank, IMF, you already mentioned global economy is already in a recession conditions. So everyone knows about this, ladies and gentlemen, everyone know about this recession. Everyone know about that, okay? But it's just a method of the recession shapes, whether it's a V shape, U shape, or W or L. So now if you look at now markets, according to markets, right? Markets widely expect V, some they expect V shape, some expect W. But if you ask me, I prefer a small U shape, okay? A small U shape, right? But depends on the COVID-19, how the governments, all right, how to contain this COVID-19 outbreak, okay? So we can go through this, all right? Now, why local market could stay volatile going forward, all right? Now, the earning risks are released down 5 risks or challenges that Malaysia is likely to face. Now look at the first point, the new government's policy directions and the political developments. So this is already mentioned earlier. All right, foreign investor hate uncertainties. All right. Second, impact of falling oil prices on the federal government's oil-related revenues. I already mentioned that. Definitely, they will impact have a negative impact or impact our government's revenue. So I think governments is likely to review the budget's operating expenditure. Like for example, government might review the supplies and services. Supply services charges some things like the government office supplies, repairs, or small equipment items. So they might cut that kind of budgets in order to meet the deficit targets. All right, so they have to do that. Otherwise, governments will incur a lot of costs going forward. All right. Now the third point, I think everyone's focused on this. All right, COVID-19 outbreak. All right, now just like I already mentioned, because of this outbreak of COVID-19 lockdown, so all around the world, they're locked down, including Malaysia. We call it MCO. So IMF already said global economy, I think it's already in a recession. So they already mentioned that. All right. And fourth, okay, the fourth earning risk or challenges that Malaysia is going to face is the first quarter corporate earnings and the GDP. Now, this one, you have to understand that Bursa Malaysia, I think few weeks back, already announced 7 measures. So one of the measures I want to highlight is that they allow all the remisier or dealers, okay, to whether they can make final decision whether they want to force sell the client's margin account. Okay, so this is kind of a ban short selling, something like that. All right, and another measures is that all the listed companies, local companies, they are allowed to submit the first quarterly result. They can delay, okay, delay submissions 1 month. So I think this will mitigate the downside risk. All right, I think this is positive for the markets. All right, and GDP, I think everyone knows that the first quarter 2020 GDP is definitely will be bad. Definitely will be bad. Everyone knows about that. All right. So I think that market, I won't say 100%, but could be 80 or 70% pricing all the negative events caused by this COVID-19. I think market already priced in that. All right. So just for the beginners, why I would say that market maybe have priced in all these things, meaning to say that market always react in advance. You have to know about this. When you know the economy is going to be bad, market will react immediately. All right, market will react immediately. It won't react when the real economic data is released. All right, so you have to understand that market always react in advance. And because of this slowdown, economy slowdown, so there is a room for further easing, like such as Bank Negara. I think Bank Negara could potentially further cut the OPR rate going forward. There is a monetary meeting on 5th May, but I think it might cut or announce the OPR cut before this 5th of May. That is my opinion. And because of all these challenges, I have been saying that foreign funds may pay down holdings due to domestic as well as external risk. Now, if you read a lot of news, right, on social media, especially social media, so a lot of people, many say that this is the recent crash, right, is once in a decade opportunities. Now, if you look at these tables, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at this table, all right, you see, Black Monday, whenever KLCI drop or crash, you look at Black Monday, KLCI drop by 53%. But when the recessions or market crash or bear markets is over, then KLCI will surge more than 183%. So that is opportunities. Now you look at Asian in 1997 or 1998. All right, we experienced an Asian financial crisis. KLCI, doubled by 80%. But once this end or is over, so you see KLCI, wow, surged more than 200%, 291%. Now if you look at 2008, all right, there was a global financial crisis. KLCI dropped by 47%. But when this thing, all right, over, KLCI surged more than nearly 100%. So this is where we are now. At the pay in 2019, KLCI all the way down. Now it's roughly, if you count the lowest point, all right, I think at about 1207, around that low level. So KLCI from the peak already dropped by 36%. All right, I think this is the opportunities. All right, so if you are a long-term investor, now this is the perfect time for you to look for fundamentally sound companies. All right, don't look for those penny stocks, huh? All right, even though high risk, high return, but please play safe. All right. Now, what to expect from the central banks from US or Europe? Okay. Now we all know that customers. All right. Sorry, we all know that Trump cares about the stock markets, right? Okay. He always cared about the stock markets. If you look at the tweets, all right, he always tweets, you know, yeah, I see. Funny, man. Okay. Now, after COVID-19 outbreak happens, all right, in US, so Trump already passed the 2 trillion stimulus package, and he's going to calling for another 2.3 trillion infrastructure package. So this is definitely to mitigate the risk COVID-19. All right, and definitely you all know that the upcoming presidential elections will be held in November this year. So before that, I strongly believe, I think everyone do that. All right, Trump will try his best to push up the stock market because he cared about the stock markets, right? And look at Europe, central banks, they also announced this pandemic emergency purchase program. All right, so they might likely to open, okay, to increase the size of this to stimulate the economy. Now, you look at this table, you can see Federal Reserve US, you know, and bank as the European Central Bank and Bank of Japan, Bank of England. So their interest rate already close to zero. All right, if you look at Europe definitely below zero. So what does this chart tell you? All right, what does this chart tell you? Okay, now Federal Reserve cut to zero, right, near to zero, and they implemented an unlimited QE. Now, if you recall, 2008, after the global crisis, Federal Reserve cut interest rate. All right, and then they purchased the United States Treasury debt bond. All right, you recall that. Then few years later, there's a hot money flowing into Asian markets, but this time around will be different. And this time around, they implemented an unlimited QE. Unlimited QE, you know. So this will definitely, I'm not talking about now, in the future. So this definitely will be very positive for emerging market in the future when the hot money, all right, created by this unlimited QE, it definitely flow in emerging market, because emerging market, the interest rate, even though they cut, is still more attractive than this country. You see, they're already close to zero. So if you have money, do you think you invest your money or your fund into this country? You know, the interest rate is near zero. If you put it in Europe, all right, you don't even get a single cent, but you have to pay them. So when you get all this hot money, where do you invest? You will invest in a country where can give you a better or an attractive rate, right? So I do believe after the COVID-19 outbreaks are contained, all right, so this hot money could potentially flow into emerging markets. So I think you guys have to monitor the markets closely. All right, have to monitor these markets closely. But when do you exit? When this really happen, when the hot money flow into emerging markets, when we will exit? Now, if you recall in 2015, the second half of 2015, when Federal Reserve hinted an increase in Federal Reserve rate, that is the time for you to exit. So you have to monitor the market closely. Okay, I hope you really understand what I'm saying. Okay, at this moment, I don't think the hot money will flow into emerging market first until the COVID-19 outbreaks are contained. So am I make myself clear? All right. So I think these are opportunities. This is definitely an opportunity, and this is definitely a positive news for emerging markets. Okay. Now let's talk back home. Okay. Now, if you look at what Tun Mahathir did during 1997, the Asian crisis, all right, he definitely increased the interest rate. All right, you can see what the Bank Negara Malaysia has been doing all this while since last year. You see, Bank Negara Malaysia cut interest, cut OPR rate, cut. All right, like what Tun M did during Asian crisis, and even though they cut the SRR. All right, they cut it in during the Asian crisis. So these are the tools that not only Malaysia, all around the world, these are the tools the government can use to stimulate the economy. All right, so you see when they cut the OPR rate, then your FD interest rate will be lower as well, right? So it will not. I don't think you are willing to put your money into FD where it can give you a little interest rate or little return. So they want you to, they will encourage rakyats to take out money from the banks and to spend and invest. You know, especially during MCO, even though the rakyat, they are not allowed to go out. All right, but I do believe that some of them might invest in stock markets because they are so free. All right. All right, besides they watch the online concert, but they have a lot of free time. Then there's sufficient time to, maybe they want to study the stock markets, all right, like you, now currently watching my market outlook now. So you want to learn how to invest. Okay, so I think MCO definitely is not good, okay, but it could be positive for the markets. This is what my own opinions, all right. Now, I think the previous government or current government, they have announced 3 stimulus package. All right. Now, this 20 billion stimulus package was announced by the previous government or previous Prime Minister Tun Mahathir. All right. Then after we have a new government, we announced another stimulus package, 250 billion. Now, then on 6th April, additional 10 billion. Now, these are the sectors on areas will benefit from the stimulus package. All right, like tourism related sectors, consumer healthcare. But Malaysia Airport, that definitely not really benefit from that. It's quite negative from Malaysia airports. All right. Now, this already mentions that Malaysia is like going to have a meeting on 5th May. Right? Earlier, I already mentioned this, and I will think that they might cut OPR rate before these dates. Now, it depends on the COVID-19, how serious it is. Now, further cut SRR, all right, okay. Now, let's look at charts. Now, okay, if you, my methods, right, when I study a stock market, I will look at the economy, I will look at the fundamental, then after that, I will look at chart, technical analysis. I understand some investors, they only believe in technicals, so they only look at charts. Some only believe in fundamental analysis. Now, for me, I would prefer to use both. All right, because in the stock markets, everyone know, all right, especially retail investors, they prefer to use technical analysis, right? Because it's easier. But don't forget that who hold the funds? Who are richest in the layman terms? Funds, of course, fund managers. Okay, who have the big money, who can control the market or stock prices. So don't really only use one method, but you have to study or learn other methods like fundamental analysis or technical analysis. You have to learn everything. All right. Okay, let's come back on to this. Now the bear markets. Now bear market. How do you define bear markets? Based on historical data, there has been 7 bear markets in Malaysia, all right, since 1983. with an average decline of approximately about 45%, okay, over an average of 10 months. Okay, now if we look at current situations, from this peak, all right, this was in 2018 at about 1896. So all the way down to the previous low already declined more than 30%. Now when a benchmark index declined more than 20%, then you can say the market is officially in the bear market. So definitely we were in the bear markets. All right. Now then you might question me or ask me, Nick, hey Nick, when is the bottom? Definitely I'm not sure when is the bottom, all right? But we can make use of technical analysis to measure the bottom. All right, now look at this chart, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it looks like the KLCF forming a double top. We call it a double top, huh? We call it double top here. All right, so you can draw one line here, so you can see it looks like a double top, right? Okay, we are looking at monthly charts. This is one monthly chart, right? Now, how do we measure the bottom? Okay, how do we measure? Usually, we look at this peak, right? Then you can get the difference from here. You minus this peak to this line. All right, so there is approximately about 390 points difference between this distance. Then after that, you can project this difference to the breakdown point here. So you will get your downside target. Okay, I understand you. I hope you understand what I'm saying now. So if you based on these measurements, so roughly we are already near there. We're already near the bottom there. All right, we're already near there. Now another tactics that today I want to highlight to you guys. So you can look at another technical analysis. We call it peak and trough analysis. Okay, we call it higher high or higher low or lower high and lower low. Now let's look at these charts. Now we have a high here, okay, which is in I think in the start of this year. Now we have a low here, and LH stand for lower high. Okay, then we have a lower low here, right? LL stand for lower low. Lower low means that this low is lower than this previous low. Okay, now LH2, this high is higher than the previous high. Okay, I hope you understand. So you can see all the way we have a lower low and lower high. Okay, until recently KLCI formed a higher low. Now before this happens, those who follow my Facebook Live, before this happened, I already predicted it correctly. It really formed a higher low and it break above this high. So it's officially building a higher high and higher low. So this is definitely a good sign for KLCI. Okay, now you might ask me, this could be a bear market rally. All right, yes, the chance is there, but I think it's low. Why? Okay, I will tell you now why. Because I think you look at third parallel, ladies and gentlemen, you look at third parallel, any downside could potentially be cushioned by the global aggressive stimulus packages. Now, global stimulus packages I already mentioned. U.S. Federal Reserve, they only announced unlimited QE. They never done that before, never. This is the first time they implement an unlimited QE. Okay, so in the future, we see hot money flowing into emerging market, all right? So this will cushion the downside. Another is short selling ban around the world. A lot of countries, they already implement a short selling ban. Okay, so in that case, if the market in the near term is really dropped, but I don't think the selling pressure could be as strong as the market drop in March, So in other words, I don't think the market or index will drop below the previous low. All right, this is my opinions, unless unless there's another black swan event. Otherwise, it's quite, I would say, the chance for the index to go below the previous low, the chance is low. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, for joining us today. So yeah, that's all my presentation today. So if you have any questions, so you can ask me. Okay, after this. All right. Now, if you think that my presentation is okay or good and is quite informative for you, so please use your handphone. This QR code. You can scan this QR code. All right. Please share your inputs on this talk for the improvement purposes. Okay. Now, on 25th April, which is next Saturday, we are going to have or conduct a course for you, okay, especially for beginners or intermediate levels, for those who want to learn how to pick a stock, all right? Because if you are new or beginner, you have no idea how to pick a right stock. So the upcoming course, I think, will be the good class or session for you to learn the stock picking strategy in the bear markets. Okay, so for those students, once you complete this course, so you'll be given a certificate of completions. All right, you definitely will get this. And yeah, so after that, we are going to have a lot of courses like such as the microeconomies. How do you read economic indicators, and how do you read annual reports or quarterly reports such as P&L statements? Okay, and we are going to have a technical analysis course, and I will share my experience when I work with investment bank equity research. Definitely I will share with you my experience during our course. So if you think you are keen, you really hope you could make money in the stock markets, so I will invite you to join this course, okay, which will be held on 25th April, which is next Saturday. All right, if you're really interested, please, all right, sign up, okay, for my course. Okay, just this is a link, all right, rebrand. Okay, click on that, then there is a payment link, so you can click on that if you are really interested in this course. Okay, please. All right. Okay. So before I end these presentations or this event today, all right, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Paul Chan, the co-founder of Help University, to give some words. All right.
Thanks so much, Nick. It's been most enlightening learning for me this afternoon. And what is useful about this briefing today is that you have covered so well the job of
Okay, I think we might experiencing some technical issue. It's okay, but like now there's a Q&A. All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to. There's a top right, on your top right. There's a button Q&A, live viewing Q&A. So if you have any questions, please type there. So I will pick some of the questions. All right. Okay. Let's look at some questions. All right. There's a question. Do you think this is wise to play stock in these current situations? Oh, now, as I mentioned just now, all right, if you look at KLCI, the index from the technical perspective, you can see KLCI is likely to form a series of higher high and higher low. Right, this is a good sign or positive sign for the market. So from the fundamental or from the economy standpoint, as I mentioned, that market might have priced in all the negative impact arising from this COVID-19 outbreak, because everyone knows, right? Everyone knows about the bad economy data. Don't bother whether first quarter or second quarter in 2020. Everyone knows about this. So as I said, stock market always react in advance. When everyone knows about this, market already reacted to all the negative things, unless, all right, unless there's another black swan event. Otherwise, I don't think the market will go below the previous low. All right, this is my opinions. Okay, I hope I really answer your questions. All right, let's look at other questions. Okay, most of the questions about the market plug or market bottom, right? There's another question. How long do you think the stock market will recover as before COVID-19 outbreak or after it is contained? Now, okay, now if you study China, when the COVID-19 outbreak happens in China, if you study China stock markets, the stock markets will bottom before the COVID-19 is contained. Meaning to say that when the total or the confirmed cases reach the peak or start to slow down,
I can talk.
there is when you play the stock markets. All right. Okay. I think Datuk Po.
Yes. Sorry
Okay,
about
go
just
ahead.
now. Yeah, because I was cut off, the internet was down. And I want to congratulate you, Nick. You have given an excellent analysis looking at the combination of technical and fundamental analysis, but more importantly, to provide the geopolitical and economic analysis context, and that's very important. To be a complete trader, as you say, you need to know some basics about macroeconomics and the type of economic indicators that come up from the US. And of course, to understand the different sectors, because some of you may specialize in the aviation stocks or tourism stocks and so on. As Warren Buffett used to say, I'm not buying shares, I'm buying industries. So it's important to have this type of background, and therefore that's why we are going to conduct some of these courses to support what Nick is doing so well. I have been in the stock market, not so much now, since 1965. I and my team actually constructed the Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange Composite Index. So I'm somewhat familiar with the evolution of the stock market opportunities in the world. What is happening is there are three things that don't change very much: when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, and of course what to buy. And this will not change very much, but we must understand our own philosophy and our own psychology. At what stage are we in our life? We call it the life cycle hypothesis. If you're a young person, you need to accumulate savings, investments, assets. But if you're young, you don't have a lot of spare cash or surplus. So you may end up trading, and trading is not that easy unless you have a very strong discipline. Many people make good money as a professional trader, and right now, because of the technology, you can literally trade worldwide 24 hours a day, because there's so many types of trading in the forex, gold, commodity, and so on. So it's therefore important to understand your own philosophy and, of course, your makeup a psychological makeup so that you understand your pain points. If you lose money, how painful it is for you. So all these little things, Nick is very experienced. He has been advisor and trainer to so many groups of people, and he will guide you along the way. So I'm very pleased that we are collaborating with him to educate a lot of young people and even veterans. For instance, many of us are actually caught by our own psychological behavior. For example, if you make 4% today, we are not happy enough, because this is larger than 4% from the bank. There's an annual return on from interest. But 4% in absolute terms, maybe 40 ringgit, 100 ringgit. So it looks very tiny, but it's not tiny, it's a lot, because you may have gone in and traded for just 20 minutes. But to make 40 ringgit, 100 ringgit, you're not happy. The greed element is that you want to double it, and that's why we are caught so often. So therefore, to go through a proper course in stock trading, and we call it daily stock trading, in contrast to proper investment for medium and long term, we need to be properly trained and have the discipline. So there are about 400 people today attending your course, Nick. And I think you have done an excellent job helping all these people. I think, remember one thing, the share market is totally ruthless. It does not know you. It does not know Paulson or Nick. When we lose, most of the time, we dare not tell people. We feel shameful, guilty. There's a psychological guilt in it. And we hold stocks for years, that we should have sold, but we don't do it. So these are the types of things that young people should learn immediately. And remember one thing, it's a zero-sum game. Somebody must lose for you to make. It's not possible everybody makes at the same time. Somebody must make and somebody have to lose to let you make the money. So thank you so much for this exciting afternoon. And we wish you the best. We don't say wish you luck. There's no luck. There's some luck, but it's hard discipline, a lot of dedicated work to become rich from the share market. Thank you so much. I have finished. Yeah.
All right, sorry, there's another question, which market should we be looking at? US market, KLCI, or Singapore? If you ask me, I think I will advise you to look at the local markets or US as well, or even the global other markets, because if you look at charts, right, if you understand or if you analyze or you're chartist, you look at all the countries KLCI or benchmark index I'm talking about, the patterns are all almost the same. Okay, and if you're really keen or interested, learn how to pick a stock. All right, I will definitely welcome you to join my class on 26th, okay, April. I will teach you how to pick a right stock and guide you on the stock pick strategies. Now, I just give you one ideas. Now, we know that KLCI consists of 30 component stocks, right? So, which are the sectors that has the most influence on the KLCI index? All right, so you know that 30 component stocks, bank sectors has a higher weightage in the KLCI constituents. So I want to ask you back, right? When the KLCI really, I mean, if you want to push up KLCI or you want to push it down, so which are the sectors you want to push it first, right? You get what I mean, right? So I will give you some ideas. All right. Is Maybank a good long-term yield investment versus other banks? Okay, I have to apologize because I'm not licensed to give advice on the stocks. Okay, but I already mentioned just now. So if you want to push KLCI, we push it down. So what are the sectors that has the highest weightage on the KLCI constituent? If you expect KLCI will go higher going forward, so bank sectors definitely have to go higher first because they has a higher weightage in the KLCI 30 component stocks. All right. May I know why short selling ban around the world? This is a good question. Why they want to implement this short selling ban? Because they want to cushion it. All right. All the governments around the world, they don't want the stock markets to crash, right? So these are one of the tools for the government to implement, all right, to keep the markets, to prevent the market from going lower, all right. Another question is, should I invest in Genting Malaysia now since markets are recovering? Again, I'm not licensed to give you advice, and we are not allowed to, to recommend buy or sell. But what I could say is that, as I mentioned just now, market always react in advance. So the stock share price also is like that. All right. Genting Malaysia is in the tourism sectors, right? So tourism sectors are affected heavily by COVID-19. So share price dropped sharply. And the decline in the share price, I think, may have priced in all the negative news or events. All right. So when the COVID-19 reach peak and slow down, so then this will be positive for those tourism sectors. All right. This is my opinion. Then there's another question. Is it free the next Saturday course? Definitely no. Okay, there's a minimum charge about 500 ringgit on that. The course, I think, about 4 hours. All right, and during the course, I will definitely guide you how to pick a right stock during a recession or even bear market. All right, I think this is the perfect time for you to learn. Okay, to study a company's fundamental or based on technical analysis. So that the course, I will guide you all on both fundamental analysis as well as technical analysis. I think it's a perfect time for you to learn, right? Based on what you are saying, there won't be another recession coming in. Now, what do you mean by another recession first? I think IMF, International Monetary Fund, or even the World Bank already announced we are already in the recessions. All right, we are already in the recessions. If you are talking about another recession, so maybe not this year because we are already in the recessions. So if you're talking about another recession, maybe another 10 years. All right. So, but there's one thing that you need to be cautious because US, Europe, Japan's the interest rate already at zero, near zero. So when Federal Reserve want to increase interest rate, then we need to be cautious. Okay, as I mentioned just now, the hot money from the US or from Europe could potentially flow into emerging market because emerging market interest rates is better or more attractive than the US and Europe. Okay, so that will not happen until COVID-19 is contained. All right, so once COVID-19 outbreak is contained, so I do believe all money will flow into emerging markets. Then this will be positive for the market, all right, as well as of course including Malaysia. But we have to be cautious when the Federal Reserve hints an increase in interest rate. Then hot money will go back to US. Then we have to be cautious on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Then there's another question. I think I already mentioned that. Would crude oil price go any lower than current price of US dollar 19 US dollar per barrel? I think there's a room for oil prices to go lower. That's possible because as I said just now, even though OPEC Plus or US they agree to reach a historic cut oil productions, but the demand is down by much more than that. All right, I already mentioned that. All right, the decline in demand I think is about 25 million to 35 million. All right, drop in demand. So there's a room. All right, for there's a chances for the oil price to go lower. All right. There's another question, if the economy is going to be bad, most companies' earnings will also be bad. How could the share price of the company will go up? This is definitely a good question. Now, I just now already mentioned also, market always react in advance. Market always react in advance. You have to know that. All right. When everybody knows about the bad economy, all right, market already react to that. That's why you look at March. All the stock market around the world crashed in March. But in March, we haven't seen any bad economy data, right? We haven't seen any bad economy companies' earnings because company earnings result or quarterly result will be released in May. All right, because the first quarter, right? So the result or the facts haven't been released. But why the stock market crashed first? Because I already mentioned, market always react in advance. So now the stock market or share price go up because they look beyond this COVID-19 outbreak. All right, they look beyond that. So we have to understand. All right, I already repeated it many times. Market always react in advance. Another question. Does most of the companies in stock market will fall in PN17? Okay, that's why when we study or analyze a company, a listed company, we have to look at the company's balance sheet. All right, whether the company is in the net cash position. All right, even though the company is not in the net cash position, we have to look at whether the company's net debt is high or not. So if the debt or net gearing ratio, we call it, is high, then you have to be cautious on that companies, right? So all these things I will teach on 25th. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, on 25th April, I will be conducting this course. We call it a stock picking strategies in a bear markets. So thereafter, we will be introducing other sessions like how to read the microeconomy, how do we study the economy indicators, and how do you read annual reports, right? Quarterly reports of the listed companies and P&L. So I think this is very important for you when you really want to invest your money into a particular companies. So you have to study the company's financial statements. So we are going to have this kind of courses, right, for you to attend and learn how to analyze all these companies' financial statement, especially P&L statements, balance sheets, all these things. So when you know when you know the company is fundamentally sound, then you need to know when to enter, when to exit. That's where technical analysts come in. So we are going to have this kind of technical analysis course as well going forward. All right. All right, I think okay, I think that's all for my presentation today. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. All right. Okay. For those who are interested in the on the upcoming course on 25th April, which is next Saturday. So what are the course content? All right. So okay. Now I think the global market, especially Malaysia, including Malaysia markets, I think we already in the bear markets. All right, and the bear market has been expected to occur over the past few years. Now finally happened or took place. All right. So I think this course, the upcoming course on 25th April, is designed to provide our students with the understanding of the combination of both fundamental and technical analysis. All right, we use this both method, okay, to identify potential stock during a bear market. All right, it's like the course title, stock picking strategy in a bear market. Now, upon completion of this course, now the student should be able to measure the stock market bottom. All right, so case study will be included, and students should be able to determine the key sectors and stocks, and analyze the financial health of listed company, all right, by calculating the certain simple and important financial ratios. And student will also be able to find the selected stocks catalyst. Now, catalyst is very important. I think for the beginners, or even though you are intermediate level, the catalysts are the are the main factors to drive the share price higher. So catalyst is very important. And you will be able to catch the potential trend reversal signals. All right, as I mentioned just now, when you really want to put in money into a particular listed companies, first you have to study the company's financial statement. You have to know whether the company is fundamentally sound. All right, thereafter, you have to find, or you have to identify entry points and exit points. Okay, this is where the technical analysis come in. So the class on the 25th April, I will teach you all these things. Okay, all these things, like such as candlestick pattern. A candlestick pattern is very important, for especially for investors or traders to identify the entry level. This is very critical. All right. So these are the course outline. All right. Okay, another question is 424. I opine that KLCI will drop below 1,000 because world is on the verge of recession. Because the meltdown in the 1930s, all government aid packages are too little and short-lived as productions and spending are halt due to lockdown, I think, right, in due COVID-19. My views and comment, please. All right. As I mentioned earlier, everyone knows about these recessions. Who do know about this? Now, compared to 1997 Asian crisis and 2008 global crisis. Now, during that time, we don't have Facebook, we don't have Instagram, right? We don't have all this social media. That's why you can see during 1997 or even though 2008, all the stock markets, right, when they crash, it talks about few weeks or even months, right? Because the information are not easily, I mean, the investor are not easily get all these informations. Now today, we are in different era. We have all these social media such as Facebook, Instagram. Everyone can get all the information immediately. That's why you see the meltdown. I mean, the meltdown in the stock market in March. It took about a week or 2 weeks. You see, if you look at US stock market, it hit or it triggered the circuit breaker 4 times. You know, even Warren Buffett said that he only experienced once. That was in, I think, in Black Friday or Black Monday, back, I think, a few decades before. So 4 times, you know, it triggered 4 circuit breakers. So this tells us that because of the social media, everyone can get the information easily. All right. So in nutshell, market, I think, as I say, pricing all these negative events. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. All right. So everyone knows about this. Who doesn't know? The market is going to go into a recession. Everyone knows about this. All right. Everyone knows about this. Okay. And the market tumbler in March may have priced in all these negative impact. All right. This is my opinions. Okay. And you mentioned that the government's aid packages is too little. All right. I'm not sure whether you say whether the government package is too little. Now I look at Federal Reserve. I already mentioned Federal Reserve implemented unlimited. Ladies and gentlemen, unlimited. All right, unlimited QE. They never implemented this before, never done that before. It's unlimited. So I don't think it's little. All right. And once this COVID-19 outbreaks is contained, all right, and I already mentioned many times, so all this hot money will flow into emerging markets. All right, that will not happen until, as I say, the COVID-19 is contained. All right, so this is my opinions. All right, okay. So if say whether KLCR will drop below 1,000, possible if there's another black swan. If there's another black swan happens, all right. Otherwise, I don't think will fall. And if you look at foreign shareholding in Malaysia, and I show you, right, as at February or March, foreign shareholding in local equity markets is about 22.3%. So you can calculate that. You can count that. All right. In 2008, so foreign shareholding, it declined all the way to 20.3%. That was the lowest. So now, as at February or March, 22.3. There's another 2% for the foreign shareholding to drop to that level. So basically you can count on that. Okay, so and don't forget that I don't think the foreign fund they can sell the 22.3% because of the strategic share. Because some of the strategic share foreign funds manager are not allowed to sell because of the strategic share. This is what the definition of strategic share. So and now we have a new government. I believe like Trump care about the stock markets. I don't think they will let the market crash, right? Okay, so this is what this is my opinions. All right, so I even though the stock market KLCI now it rebounded from the previous low, which was at 1207. So I do believe that market might correct in the near future. All right, but it won't break below the previous low because of what I mentioned just now. And from the technical perspective, KLCI has already formed a series of higher high and higher low formations. So this is a positive signal. All right, so this is what I think about the markets. Okay, all right. Another last question, can you cover all the topics in just 4 hours? Okay, I won't really cover those details. I will just give you the main point and straight away to the main point, how to analyze the listed companies. All right, and how do you measure the bottom, the market bottom? All right, there's no okay. All right, I think there's no more questions, right? Okay, if there's no other questions, I think yeah, I think we should end. All right, I think we should end there. Okay, once again, thanks for joining us today. All right, so see you on 25th April.